And now, we've come to the portion of our show where we have to ask, what just happened? We can't believe it either, but let's take a look back at the insanity that was this week and look ahead to what will make us facepalm next week. This is What Just Happened on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Take it away, Dean.
Thank you, announcer man. I'm Dean Obeidallah. Welcome back to What Just Happened, Friday, November 8th. We're live right here. Two great guests joining us. The guy everybody knows, John Fugelsang, Tell Me Everything from John Fugelsang Show. You can hear him right here, right after this show, 9 to midnight.
Woo-woo.
John, thank you so much for coming an hour early and doing this. And I know you're doing your show after this for it's all night, right? It's like a telethon.
Night. Yeah, all night long. I'm going to sing You'll Never Walk Alone around 6 a.m. And the steroids have made me appear more bloated than I wish I was.
And making his debut for the first time on the Dean Obeidallah Show. He was a cast member of Comedy Central's nightly show. You've seen him on Gotham Live, warm-up comic for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It's Bob DiBuono.
Hey!
Hey, everyone's at Bob DiBuono. We should have brought Nina in. Nina's a comic. Do you know Nina? She works on the show.
How did you get Bob DiBuono? Bob DiBuono is maybe the best Trump working today.
He does. Well, I promised people you would do it, but I promise you would not do the entire show for an hour of Trump because that would drive people crazy because it's a really good Trump and people are like, ugh. So, by the way, what got you into doing... Was it just, you do other impressions too? So was it a new one you worked on?
Always did a ton of other impressions, but, and then I was going to put together an SNL reel. This is like,
I remember, we've talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it. Oh, for years we talked about it. I was like, I'm going to put together a thing. And then I was like, I got to do something more relevant because I can't be going in there with, doing a Matt Dillon or Norm Macdonald impression.
Right.
So it's got to be something hot, and he was running for president.
You didn't do your Matt Dillon impression?
Right. You didn't do your who's the other, Tony Danza?
Jack Nicholson? You didn't do Jack Nicholson?
Well, here I am, Lorne Michaels.
So I was like, I got to come up with something relevant, and he was running, and it was a hoot because everyone's like, oh my God, Trump's running, it's a joke. And he was so hot and galvanizing, and people were like hated him, or he was divisive. I'm like, I got to do this character. So I kept working on it. After 4 months, I get it down. I pitch it to Rory Albanese, who was the producer.
Sure, I know
over
Rory.
at,
everyone knows Rory.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, let me show it to Larry
Wilmore,
Larry, and see if he likes it. And then within like a week, I was in
bingo. You used to be on all the time.
I'm in a reading, and they're like, boom, we're gonna make you. You're like the signing deals, and you're the Comedy Central guy at the show.
Was there a moment that you clicked, Bob? Was there a moment that you were working on the Trump and you just found the right angle to make it all come flowing out?
You know what it is, and I don't know if you ever talk to people who do, and you like to do voices too, right, John?
But
not
badly.
No, you do voices. Do you do impression? Oh, you're Chris Matthews.
I do very obscure impressions. I do like Alan Funt. I do
you
like
do Chris
Alan
Matthews.
Funt. Oh yeah, I do bad impressions. Well, I double them up. Like I saved like my Mr. Sulu from Star Trek. I worked on it for years, Captain. Locked and loaded for it because it's also my Casey Kasem. So I save time.
Sure. Consolidated.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I think when you do the voice, it's like the moment you record it and you hear it and you don't hear you anymore. That's when you're like, I'm on to something. I don't hear me. Now I go, I'm hearing somebody else. And that's when I knew I had it. And it's on YouTube. The first time I ever got it down, it was on YouTube that night. And it wasn't even nearly what it is now. It was like a small little molecule. And then it blew up into this big thing. But that was what started. I didn't have the mannerisms down yet. I didn't have anything. It's got the voice.
Folks, if you Google Bob DiBuono, the mannerisms you do are like perfect. I mean, we were watching it before the show again, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got that good. By the way, talk about Chris Matthews. I interviewed Chris because he had the 20th anniversary of his on Monday.
I got perfect pitch on just that one.
I asked him about what do you think of Daryl Hammond's SNL, and he went off to praise him on Bill Clinton. I go, but you didn't mention how he did on you. He goes, well, how is it when you watch an impression of yourself? And I thought it was a really interesting point that he made because it's true. It's uncomfortable in a way.
Sure.
And I said to him, my favorite line of Daryl playing Chris, and I said to him, I told him, like, is when Daryl says, "You're watching Hardball. I'm going to go outside and yell at cars."
That's so funny because the first time I met Chris was at the DC Improv when I was middling for Daryl Hammond way back, and he came out to see Daryl one night. So
he loves Daryl.
Oh yeah, well everyone loves Daryl. Daryl's an amazing stand-up.
Have you ever watched anyone do an impression of you, John? I do one, but
I don't really. I'm not iconic enough quite yet. People think I'm doing an Alan Alda impression when I speak.
You have a very good voice. But the only one ever did, people playfully, but at SNL when I worked there was a cast member at the time, Jeff Richards.
Yeah.
Do you know Jeff?
Yeah.
He does a lot of impressions.
Yeah.
So at Read Through, a lot of crazy things happened. He wrote a sketch playing me.
Really?
Right. And because sometimes the people write things for a read-through that are really just for the table. but he did it me. So everyone in the room, I knew it was never going to make air, but it was me and research and things people were like, can you get this? I'm like, I don't know if I can find that. Come on, it's hard to find.
Did he get your voice down?
He
and
did.
Everything?
He got it pretty good, but he got all the mannerisms and my normal expressions that I would say, and it made me laugh because I could hear. When you jam them all together, there's the caricature.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say all the things all the time, but when you jam them all together.
Yeah.
And Lauren had an idea who I was, but everyone else was laughing a lot. Because that's the only time in my life I've watched someone actually commit to an impression of me.
And it wasn't actually a good impression. They just enjoyed mocking a Muslim. And it brought the whole room together.
Right. He really hates Muslims.
Yeah,
but it is
all.
surreal, though. I mean, if you watch someone trying to do... that's why Chris was being very honest in the conversation. He goes, well... He's great at Clinton. We talked about it. I'm like, what do you think of him? And he goes, well, it's weird to watch an impression of yourself. And I've only watched it once. So I guess it would be, to be honest, because you'll see things that ring true and others like, I know people are laughing. That's not me. I mean, really not me.
I also find when you're doing an impression, if you took 3 impressionists and lined them up and they did an impression of you, each one of them, just like someone who would draw you in Times Square, they would find a different nuance about you that the other guy didn't get. And they're all like hybrids of you. You know what I mean? And
I know exactly.
And that's what impressionists are.
But when you like John, we'll talk about political things in a second. But John, the few impressions that you have done things, have you broken them down yourselves? Or like Daryl, when I used to work at SNL, if I hear him break down an impression, I can almost mimic Daryl doing that because he's heightened certain things. I'm like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, and Daryl actually found his Bill Clinton just from one line. He was doing morning radio. He wasn't even doing stand-up yet, and he wound up being so good at voices because he could just say one phrase as Bill Clinton, and that was, I hate you. And that was it. He was able to, I hate you. And from there, he built the entire impression because he got one phrase. For me, like, my Trump is so bad that I use it as an excuse to talk about how much bad Trump impressions there are. Because let's be honest, people, comedy clubs in America used to be a safe place. Now, it's every hack doing a shitty impression of Alec Baldwin doing a shitty impression of Trump. And F you if you don't get it. And it's terrible. So what I do is I actually, because my Trump is the opposite of Mr. DiBuono, I do such a bad Trump that I break down how bad my Donald Trump actually is, because my Trump is more or less, I work at my Marlon Brando. It's all in the soft pack. I get it all late era Brando, which is a lot in common with Donald Trump. They both just want to sit on an island and gain weight and have sex with underage girl, completely natural. And then I take Brando and I get him hooked on Adderall. And suddenly it's Marlon Brando on speed, and then I give him a cold. And it's the perfect storm of mucus, amphetamine, and Brando for my crappy Donald Trump impression. Okay? At least I break it down.
You did. I heard even a touch of Truman Capote in there.
I even hear
a less masculine Truman Capote.
And Colbert does it kind of like that. His just sounds very much in that vein.
There's like impressions and channeling, and then there's
Trumps,
caricatures. Like there's caricatures. So like I do a better Bernie than I do a Trump. But for me, I don't ever like Bob's a master. I could never do what Bob
Bernie?
does.
I never worked on. This is how OCD I am. I never worked on Bernie because there were already 5 guys doing it, and I was like, I don't want to. I feel like I'm almost imitating someone doing him. So he was already done.
The 99% of comedians have had a terrible Bernie Sanders impression.
Yeah. I started off doing Bill Clinton.
I remember that.
Remember, I used to do walk around.
We were young comics.
We were young comics. I was doing walk around entertainment at Comedy Nation above Caroline's, and I would be. It was a place like Pulp Fiction when people were eating. The only place in America that I've ever heard of or seen where you walk in, you're eating, and there's literally like a cavalcade of entertainers walking around doing impressions.
I remember that.
They had a Charlie Chaplin. Chaplin.
Not an easy impression to do, by the way.
No, and he was. They had all these different people, and then I was like coming out. I'd come out with the wig on. And be, it is so good to be here. You have no idea. And they'd be eating their chicken wings, and I'd be talking about how they're trying to impeach me. I can't believe it. Hillary, she is an angry lesbian. I would just make horrible things and then get in trouble half the time.
Now we're gonna get emails and people are angry. He was kidding.
Just kidding.
Do you guys know Scott Blakeman?
Of course.
You know Scott, or Scott?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
He has a funny joke about like any Jewish guy over 50 can do an impression of Bernie Sanders. It's just him talking.
Yeah, right.
Scott,
especially if you're Jewish.
Right. And Scott's from Brooklyn, so his patter, his natural speech cadence is this kind of Bernie thing. And and when I talked to Bernie a few times, you've interviewed him too, by phone, it almost feels like I'm talking to an impressionist because I've heard more impressions and everyone breaking that down.
I know. Bernie does a great Bernie.
Who does?
Yeah. Bernie has a great Bernie.
He does. And Larry David kind of does a great Bernie, right?
He's more like Larry Larry David is as good a Bernie as I do a Bernie. You know who he's doing. You can tell who he's doing.
But I think like what's his name, Daryl Hammond. You pick up like for me with Trump, it was a couple of words, and I couldn't get him down for a long time, and I couldn't do it. And someone even asked me, "Hey, can you do our radio show and do Trump?" I hadn't gotten it down. I can't do it. And then it was just the word jobs, China, and just I kept saying it over and over, China, jobs. And then we're winning tremendously. The numbers are unbelievable. We can't believe the numbers. And the economy is unbelievable. Unemployment lower than Harvey Weinstein's zipper. That's pretty low, everybody. It's very low.
It's amazing to watch
Tremendous.
him do it.
I know. I'm just saying.
We're winning.
I wish people could watch your face because his face becomes. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking around. You become very Trump. And me and John were both staring at you while you were doing that. Because even at Jack Nicholson, when he did Jack Nicholson, just like the little smile. Look.
Yeah, well, here I am.
And you actually do the older Jack Nicholson. Most people do a younger Jack Nicholson, but now he's about a half an octave
This
lower
is a
than he was.
battling Nicholsons.
And the Trump is very breathy too. He does a lot of. And we're starting to do lots of big things. Nobody can believe the things we're doing, the tremendous things. Unbelievable.
I love it. Battling Trumps.
We can't believe it,
So
everybody.
speaking of, you guys would both win the MAGA challenge. Trump announced today, I'm not kidding, and folks might not have seen this. This is not a joke. This is real. He tweeted, I will be announcing the winners of the hashtag MAGA challenge and inviting them to the at White House to meet with me and perform. Good luck. And he retweeted, Nina, let's pretend we're working. Here, let's look at this clip right here for a second. Nina's playing over here. Here is the clip of. Here's clip number 4. This is not a joke. This is the actual clip of the guy Bryson Gray, who's African American rapper who wears a huge MAGA hat, and he raps about how black people are not woke like he is, and that's why he loves Trump, and he's not joking. Here's clip number 4.
Hey, they saying you that MAGA boy. Call me what you want, cause that don't matter, boy. I just speak the truth, that's something they don't understand. Why this white liberals trying to tell me who I am? Don't put me in groups, cause I'm my own man. I said I wasn't Democrat, I lost a few friends. Radio stopped playing me, I lost a few fans. But tell me I'm a victim, cause the power in my hands. I am not a victim, I am not oppressed. They keep taking shots, so I might just buy a vest. They said no with my MAGA hat, I told them say less. I bought the biggest MAGA hat, I did it just to flex.
Wow.
So we get the idea, and he raps,
great.
and then he's
not a victim, like all those like the majority of African Americans who vote for the party that passed the Civil Rights Act, those victims, in the plantation.
I can't. What if he wins? I can't see Trump sitting in a room with this guy trying to have a dialogue with this kid.
For like 30 seconds. What would Trump say?
He's not famous enough for Trump to have a dialogue with him.
Yeah, I like you because you're very black, and I love the blacks. They voted. I wasn't worried about your voting. I was worried about you being 3 hours late to the polls. That's what I was worried about.
Then Angela King, who's Bryson Gray's friend, also got retweeted. Here's clip number 5. This is not a joke. This is really what she made. Also wearing picture, huge MAGA hat. And they both rap about, and it gets retweeted by white people like Charlie Kirk from this Trump Super PAC.
Charlie Kirk, what a brilliant man.
Exactly. So you've got these white guys saying, in a sense, this is our black friend, and here are 2 or 3 black people who like Trump. He only has about an 8% approval rating among African Americans per the last Washington Post poll.
3% among black women in CNN poll in September. Margin of error, 3.2%.
So it could be 0. So here's
could be
one.
minus 2, and that's just Diamond and Silk.
Here's the black woman. We found 4 black women who like Trump: Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk, and now Angela King. And this is on Twitter today. Here's
I know her,
5.
Angela.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Good 5.
Yeah, it's that MAGA girl. It should be obvious cause you know that we run the world. And I got all these liberals steady hating on me. They keep saying white is what she wanna be. But all I wanna do is set the captives free and make enough noise to say the babies. And get my people all welfare. They say I'm crazy in that, I don't care. Hey, but it's time for us to wake up.
So African Americans around America, you have to wake up because Angela is saying that people are accusing her of wanting to be white because she likes Donald Trump.
Wow. Her audience is black people who hate dancing. Who want hip hop that you just kind of like, feel lectured to. Not you want to get up and party.
It's remarkable today that on Twitter, are you a lot on Twitter, Bob?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because MAGA Challenge was number 1 for 3/4 of the day today because people were trashing it. And so
I thought MAGA Challenge was like seeing who can spell your correctly.
It's almost like he's doing this as a distraction again. Like anything to get. It's like a superintendent that just got in trouble for like being inappropriate with one of the students, and now they're like, let's have a karaoke contest at the summer dance. It's it's crazy. It's bizarre.
My MAGA challenge that I tweeted is that my challenge is because tomorrow Trump's going to the football game.
Yeah,
My MAGA
that's
challenge to the
right.
students that they all boo him and cheer, lock him up. That's my MAGA challenge.
I mean,
That's what I'd love to see happen.
what do
tomorrow.
you got to do? The guy goes to a World Series game. You think, okay, that's people with disposable income. This is people who got a tax cut from Donald Trump. If you can afford World Series. I know D.C. went for the woman who got the most votes, like
Right.
90%. But still, you'd think disposable income. Nope, booed him there. So then, Ultimate Fighting Championship. That's fantastic.
yeah.
Donald Trump's going to find nudity at an event called Ultimate Fighting. He gets booed there. So now, finally, a football game in Alabama. Got to be. He's good. Listen, if he wants to get not booed at a sporting event, hockey in Moscow. Go over to Moscow now, and they will cheer you.
And in fact, with the game tomorrow, Alabama's Vice President of Student Affairs, University of Alabama, that's where the game is tomorrow, sent an email to student groups saying that any organizations that engage in disruptive behavior during the game will be removed from block seating instantly for the remainder of the season. So you lose your reserve seating for Alabama games if you disrupt it. Now they put a statement
Really?
later, seriously, they put a statement later going, oh, we're not saying you can't speak up, but if you do anything disruptive, you're losing your season tickets.
Hang on, Dean. Can they use their free speech rights if it's to cheer the president?
Of course they can use
But
it
if they
then.
want to use their free speech rights to protest the president, they
Lose your
lose their
seats.
seat?
Yep.
Wow, what a great institute of higher learning. I'm learning all kinds of things about this school.
University of Alabama. I hope, by the way,
How can you lose seats you paid for? That's anti-capitalist.
they don't care. It's University of Alabama. Joe Rogan today, I just saw a little headline. I guess it was at the UFC
Yeah.
fight, and he said
Yeah.
Trump was booed. We
Yeah.
all heard the video. He got some cheers and he
Yeah.
got some boos.
Right.
The World Series game is just boos. But even then, after that event, you got Trump's sons, both of them, and Trump retweeting going, nobody booed, everyone cheered. We could hear it. They literally
They were
tell us
saying
lies.
the
to our
word. They were saying the word zoo because we got too many horrible immigrants in the country. They're saying
Zoo?
zoo.
That would have been a better defense than what happened.
And I look at the face of his wife when this is all happening, because
Melania.
wasn't Melania with him
At the baseball game?
She was, yes.
And I was looking for a crack for her to kind of be like, "Wow,
She's not
we're
capable
hated."
of that.
They
much.
get
And
it.
nothing. They just smile like, they don't even hear it.
Why she'll never run for office, because you can't be the face of a movement when your face has no movement.
And no movement. yeah, none.
very
Be
funny.
best. Be best. Donald's probably going, "It's be the best, you stupid idiot. Be the best."
Hey,
I'd say be best.
I just want to see who her date is for Trump's funeral. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Who would you guess it
You
would be?
know she's bringing a date. You know.
Yeah,
Someone who
a lot
lives
younger.
in New York now.
I want to. Here was where was a couple I wanted to play. Here is Colbert. I want to ask you guys, what would it take? Is there anything I should preface this by? Not what would it take? Is there anything that could make Republicans actually say about Trump the way Republicans did with Richard Nixon and went to him, go, you got to go because you're going to destroy us. You're going to go. But here was Colbert on Lindsey Graham, and this real clips of Lindsey Graham in denial. So here's clip number 7, please.
About
Dan.
what?
Lindsey Graham. These are your folks, Lindsey. Now, just a few weeks ago, Graham told Axios this.
If you could show me that, Trump actually was engaging in a quid pro quo outside the phone call, that would be very disturbing.
Well, the transcripts clearly show that, but
I'm not going to read these transcripts.
how tragic. Graham is clearly working through the 5 stages of Republican impeachment grief. Anger, denial, won't read, can't read, no habla inglés. Well,
Is there a moment where, look, politicians are about getting reelected. So to me, the only thing that I think can move Republicans, if they think about their own political mortality, is going to happen because of Donald Trump. It's got to get that bad.
But also, if they think that he can't win, as soon as they think that he can't win the 2000, then they would, I think, start capitulating. But as long as they think that he can
I
win
think
it,
as soon as they think that supporting him doesn't help them win.
yeah,
Right?
That too.
They'll be there when he's gone. But as soon as they know that they can oppose him and still be reelected in their districts, that's what it's really about.
Yeah.
And that's
so
what
if they
the
saw
media doesn't talk
his
about.
numbers start dropping dramatically and they think, you know what, there's a lot of cracks, that's when they're going to jump ship.
Only if the
Don't you
numbers
think?
drop in their own districts or states.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
even
so-
his son was talking about that era. Donald Trump Jr. was talking about that.
Can you do an impression of him? Can you do it as Donald Trump
not,
Jr.?
Not yet. No.
No.
I'm working on it, but not yet.
I came through to do interviews, and I put.
Yeah,
Did you put in?
I put in.
For,
I begged
Oh
for
my
him.
God! Me
I
too.
said I just want to talk about the writing process behind his book. I just want to talk about being
I mean,
an
he
author.
did The View. Why did not do your, because
Well,
that
I
can't
really
be any
tried
more
to put it.
combative.
I really want them to
I
come
wanted
in.
him, so I said, we'll be so respectful. I'll just ask about the book. Just talk about the book.
We no, and And interesting, I can't get Tulsi Gabbard on the show, but
Really?
Breitbart can get her. She did
Are you
Breitbart.
surprised about that?
No, it's remarkable. She's running for the Democratic nomination, so I thought maybe you'd want to appeal
Tulsi
to
Gabbard
Democratic
has
votes.
a jetpack that has Tucker Carlson's studio coordinates pre-entered into it.
Well, all the air for her jetpacks are in her lips.
For Tulsi? Do you think it's...
What?
I can't tell if it's
His
both.
girlfriend? Well,
Not Tulsi
I'm
Gabbard.
talking about the other one. No, the one he's dating.
Who?
Donald Trump Jr.
Oh,
What's
it's
that called?
Kimberly.
Oh,
Kimberly.
that's
That's him.
Kimberly who was on...
Garfoyle.
We don't know who
he
Trump's
brought his
dating.
lawyer, Kimberly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's-
He's now dating.
Hey, I'd love to leave my wife for someone just like her. She's a good woman. Good woman.
Is she? I don't know her.
I met her once.
You met her?
Yeah, I
And?
had a meeting with her once years ago.
Yeah?
Someone in the industry tried to fix us up.
No way.
And how'd it go?
I wasn't going to have a second meeting.
One meeting was enough.
One meeting was
Yeah.
enough for me, but God bless her. She made a good career going on Fox News and
Yeah.
saying the kind of thing she says.
Was
And then
she not like
was
that when
so
you met her?
good on Fox News that Donald Trump Jr. left the mother of his children for her. So that means success to me.
In the Trump family, that's a rite of passage.
Kinda. I mean, Eric's kind of stuck on the first wife still.
Loser.
Good with the program.
Hashtag loser. You're a Trump son.
What are you, Jimmy
I think
Carter?
Donald-
61 years on your
Move
first
on.
wife? No wonder Trump thought Jimmy Carter was
Once
dead.
they get too old, you leave. Believe me, they're tremendously ugly.
It's like there was some joke about like it's menudo, like when you hit 30.
Somewhere in a high school, wife number 4 is waiting. She doesn't know it yet.
Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. They're having more. Look at them. They're joking around in there, having time with their lives. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back more with what just happened and our friends Bob DiBuono and John Fugelsang right here on the Dean Obeidallah Show.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
Whoever's the next president, we should call him the 45th president of the United States. And this will go down as a dark time in America that we'll never refer to again.
Sirius XM Progress. You're listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dean Obeidallah.
Propaganda. That's right. Everyone's favorite host. Welcome back. What just happened? We're live here Friday, November 8th. Two great people in studio, Bob DiBuono and John Fugelsang, who, of course, will be hosting right after this show, his own show, which he does every night, 9 to midnight Eastern Time. So, John, you are an expert on the Bible and all things Christian.
I wouldn't say that, but
Damn it, you are, blasphemer.
I'm opinionated with a microphone.
So that's what. So here is Trump's faith advisor, Paula White. This clip went viral this week. The first part is Paula White just sharing her views on religion, and then deifying Donald Trump, and I'm not even joking. Clip number 9, please.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
to say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
We are in a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken, let it be torn down in the name of Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
So if you say no to Trump, you're saying no to God, and she wants to tear down every demonic network, which I'm one of them clearly, that is attacking Donald Trump. John, your father was a reverend?
My father was a Franciscan brother.
Oh, and your mother was a nun.
My mom was a nun.
And so you've talked about the Bible a great deal. You did a one-person show. Why is it Trump has about an average 40% approval rating, yet 77% of white evangelicals still on board? And clearly you have people like Paula White out there feeding them, saying, if you say no to Trump, you're saying no to Jesus Christ.
Well, you got to realize these people aren't actually Christians. They're evangelical supremacists. Okay. The only thing Donald Trump has in common with Jesus is that he hung around hookers and both of them used ghostwriters. And that is it. I welcome calls about this on your show or my show, Dean, because my favorite thing to do is thump Bible thumpers with the Bible. And I have one simple question for the Paula Whites of the world, and she is a heretic. She's a revoltingly fake Christian. My question is, you can call yourself whatever you want, but find a new name for your religion. Jesus stood for one thing, really, the marginalized. Whoever was being crapped on by the society, whoever was the lowest of low, whoever was the most marginalized, the least among us, that's who he stood up for. That's the Sermon on the Mount. That's the parable of the sheep and goats in Matthew 25, right? Right. Lepers, prostitutes, the poorest of the poor, the despised foreign ethnic minority like the Samaritans. He made the Samaritan a good guy. That would be like in here saying the good Iranian, like whoever you're allowed to hate. Even the tax collectors, even the Roman centurions who were occupying his land, whoever was hated, that's who Jesus stood up for. Donald Trump's entire agenda is about crapping on the marginalized, whether it's trans kids who want to use a bathroom they feel right in, Syrian war refugees, the Christian refugees. I don't call them illegals. The Christian refugees at our southern border fleeing our own drug war violence, trans troops who want to serve the country. Constantly, they have a brilliant strategy, which is you get Christians, followers of Christ, to vote against everything Christ ever talked about by talking about abortion, which Christ never talked about. And we have a country where they believe the talking snake was literal fact, but love your enemy was just our Lord and Savior being all metaphorical and shit. So here's the question you ask your right-wing racist uncle every Thanksgiving when you see him. Please name one actual teaching of Christ, one that Donald Trump campaigned on or has fought for legislatively. Just one. Don't tell me abortion. Jesus is not against abortion, and neither is the Bible. Bible says life begins with first breath. God gives detailed abortion tips for unfaithful pregnant wives in Book of Numbers. God makes it clear in Exodus that a woman's life has more value than a fetus. So don't tell me abortion. Jesus was against the death penalty. He overturns eye for an eye in the Sermon on the Mount, but that's one of many areas his right-wing supporters differ with. So again, just ask them, tell me one thing Christ taught that Trump stands for, one line of the Beatitudes. They can't do it because every time Donald Trump talks about the Bible, an angel coughs up blood. End of the lesson.
That was beautiful. I quoted you the other day when we were talking about Jesus and the Bible and pro-choice or pro-life, and I said, as John Fugelsang has pointed out numerous times, there's nothing in the Bible that would it was anti-gay stuff.
Anti-gay, nothing. Yeah,
right, not in the New Testament.
There are parts of the OT you can use to say, but no one follows Leviticus. If you eat bacon, you're every bit as abominable as George Michael Knight at the Ramrod Bathhouse, okay? If you wear clothes of two different fibers, sorry, no one follows Leviticus. Everyone picks and chooses the parts of their holy books they follow of every religion. But it's only the fundamentalists who pick and choose to put somebody else down. Yeah. Liberal, moderate Christians, Jews, and Muslims, they're getting along right now around the world in all the world's major cities. It's the fundamentalists of all the world's religions. Dean, you know something about this. Mm-hmm. It's the hardcore, extreme conservatives who always believe God likes me better. Violence is okay if my side does it. Gay, bad, sex, icky, women, second class. I don't care what your religion. If you're a fundamentalist, you believe all five of those things. Sure. Paula White, she has a lot in common with Trump. She's been married 3 times. Tons of, no problem with that. I'm not hang-ups on divorce, but there's nothing in her entire rap that is about the teachings of Jesus. It's all about this prosperity gospel rap, and I just say something camel, something needle.
That's right. It's easier for a camel to pass with the eye of a needle than
for a
person.
Donald Trump to get to heaven.
Only Donald Trump would compete with Jesus if Jesus was getting more attention. He's like, I'm a little bit more popular than Jesus. He only had 12 followers. I got 12 million on Twitter.
Let me tell you about Crooked Christ. Crooked Christ says,
look, anyone who dies
Jesus
is
of
not
Nazareth,
a winner.
but he's born in Bethlehem. Which one is it? We don't know.
He's not from here. He's not
Where's
a
he
winner.
from?
I
Where's
like
he
winners.
from?
He died on the cross. He's
I
a
like
loser.
messiahs who don't get crucified, okay?
Horrible guy. I'm the one
Pharisees,
saving the world.
great guys, the Pharisees, okay? At least they're leaders. That's what we have here, all right? Don't believe what you read in the papyrus scroll. Fake prophecy.
Total fake. The Bible's totally fake, by the way.
Fake news. I love this. Battling Trump. This is great.
No. I bow down to Bob.
No, but I love that you guys mock him in your impersonation. And Bob, I mean, I don't know if you're Catholic now, but you were raised Catholic.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we went to church on the holidays when they give out the most bread. That was not like every Sunday, but yeah.
My mom's Catholic, and I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I was raised with both faiths. I gravitated to Islam because it's cooler.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's why I did it. It was a
more
career
original.
Move.
More
That's
original.
Sure. Yeah.
Catholicism is very hacky.
It's so no, but look, if there's one thing you take from Christianity, it is Matthew. When I was hungry, you fed me. When you were thirsty, I gave
Matthew
me something to drink. When you were a stranger, I took you in. And they want to impose every part of the Bible, but the good parts. I'm like, start with the good parts,
no,
and
their
then
Bible
we can debate the other parts.
Their Bible, the modern fundamentalist Christian Bible, is the golden calf. Skip all the way to Book of Revelation, duct taped to a Left Behind book, and that's the Bible.
Crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, and Paula White, she had an affair with Benny Hinn and then married the dude from Journey.
She did?
And, yeah, and that's fine. I don't believe
you know
in
a lot
condemning
about
people.
her. I didn't know. I just know I laugh at her clips online.
Yeah, I don't believe
she's
it.
so
Like,
nuts.
I don't get to condemn you for adultery. That's your personal
don't care
life.
about
You do what you do. But it's like when you start saying that Donald Trump is anyway Christian when there's nothing he's ever done that reflects. I mean, you could say the First Step Act is being kind to those in jail, but Trump didn't fight for that. Trump actually campaigned against people who protest police brutality, said cops should commit abuse more. Yep. Why do you protect their heads when you put them in the... And that was more Jared and Van Jones and the activists that made that pass. So, there's nothing Trump has done that is reflective of gospel teachings of Jesus at all. He's a grab him by the pussy Christian.
And
that's
why
what
is she
Paula White
advocating for him so much?
Because she's got a job in the White House
Yeah,
and
she's
we're
a
paying
faith
her.
What is she doing that for?
She's a faith advisor.
We are paying her
so she's just,
to make him look Christian.
Yeah, so she's molding the religion into a template to fit what she can send out to
Trump has
everybody.
committed nine commandments that I can point to, and if you want to bring up the Kurds, it might be 10.
Interesting. I like that very much. So, and speaking of Trump and John Kennedy, the senator, the crappy one, not the good one that we know, mocking Nancy Pelosi. And I want to play this clip, and it's just consistent with Donald Trump.
This guy used to be a Democrat, by the way.
Was he really? He's a Southern Democrat. So here's clip number 2 from the rally on Wednesday.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi is trying to impeach him. I don't mean any disrespect, but it must suck to be that dumb.
It sounds like an impression, though. It sounds like an impression Bob would be doing of a Southern senator. Like,
what we need to do here is this. You're an idiot.
I'm here to have a roast battle with Jeff Sessions.
And by the way, he has a degree from Oxford, that guy.
No.
And he talks like that to appear dumb to keep his job.
Well, because that's the audience he's talking to. You guys are a dumbass if you believe that crap.
But it reminds me of, the idea of an audience laughing at a woman is something Trump is about. During the whole Brett Kavanaugh stuff, I want to play a clip of him attacking Christine Ford, who
John
testified.
Kennedy?
No, Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
This is consistent with the entire Trump brand. Trumpism is demeaning women. That's part of it. And here's Trump to get laughs from the crowd, demeans a victim of sexual assault. Brett Kavanaugh had assaulted her. I have no doubt about it. And here's Trump.
I think she
her.
lied to her therapist years before he was ever nominated for the Supreme Court, just to scuttle his Supreme Court nomination, Dean. So you drunk the Kool-Aid.
Here is Trumpism on display, my friends. This is John Kennedy, and here's Donald Trump, clip number 3.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know.
They're all lies. They're all lies.
I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember.
It's like a comedy.
And a man's life is in tatters.
What? A man's life is in tatters.
Brett Kavanaugh's life. And when I hear that, it makes my blood boil because she was a victim of sexual assault. And there's Donald Trump for the enjoyment of his crowd. And they're enjoying the hell out of it. Him maligning and mocking her because her memory of every detail of that assault, the details of the actual assault, she remembered pretty vividly. But that's what Trumpism is. Demonize the victim. Mock them. It's always stand with the man. How many men did he stand with, John, from Roger Ailes to Bill O'Reilly, the list, and himself, of course, and everything. Rob Portman,
well, until they get caught.
Roy Moore.
And then when they get
Roy
in trouble, then he
Moore.
backs off and goes, well, I wasn't that close to him. I worked with him a
That's
little bit,
only
but I
if they
wasn't
ever
that
speak
close.
out against him.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
seriously, like it's not just about rapists. He's into child rapists too. Roy Moore. What happens when it's Roy Moore versus Jeff Sessions in Alabama, and Trump decides he's going to endorse Roy Moore over Jeff Sessions? I mean, just imagine the ads they're writing to make Jeff Sessions look like someone who hates Trump, and then imagine the ads Jeff Sessions is going to have written to make it look like he was always there for Trump, tried to do the right thing for Trump, never lied about Trump, never undermined Trump, and Trump fired Jeff Sessions for not obstructing justice. In an obstruction of justice investigation.
But who was it recently that came under fire and then Trump was like, well, I just
Gordon
worked with, I worked with
Sondland
him a little bit,
the
but I don't really
ambassador.
know.
Gordon
that well.
Sondland today.
Yeah, today, and they played the clip from him last month saying, Gordon Sondland, he's a really good guy.
Good American.
Good, and then now it's like,
Then
I
Sondland
barely
gave
know the
him
guy.
$1
worked with him.
million.
Talked to him on the phone a few times. That was about it.
And how does the ambassador to the EU get to go do shadow diplomacy with the Ukraine, which is not even part of the EU? Gordon Sondland just remembered this week, Dean. He just remembered, oh yeah, I did do a quid pro quo and break the law. Like when Ronald Reagan, oh yeah, I forgot that I sold arms to the Iranians who killed our Marines in Beirut. Gordon Sondland has got better lawyers than Donald Trump.
It's Gordon Sondland. It's going to become a key person in all of this, and he's going to find out pretty quickly when he made his deal with Donald Trump, who does not. I don't think Gordon Sondland had any idea. This guy just ran hotels. He was a rich guy.
No.
Had no idea the lack of morals and just the abyss that Donald Trump is, that he will, in a second, sacrifice Gordon Sondland. I don't think Gordon Sondland understands it. And I think now
but the question
Gordon
is,
Sondland understands he's deep into this garbage.
But who turns on who first, Trump or Rudy? Because they are preparing to throw Rudy under the bus. Rudy is dirtier than Chris Christie's hamper at this point.
Well, they've already, the White House has already kind of like distanced themselves from Rudy yesterday.
But Rudy,
And
I
Mick
think,
Mulvaney,
but
right?
I think Rudy knows way too much. That's the thing. If Trump and Rudy turn against each other, then
That's going to be interesting.
we're in the end game, Tony Stark.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, breaking news, Michael Bloomberg has formally filed for the Alabama Democratic primary and now will also file for the Arkansas primary, where
Finally,
he should do really well.
millennials have their guy.
Those are the kind of states that I think you start with if you're Bloomberg, right? I mean, why not start with the early states? But we're going to come back and talk about how a billionaire is going to save us because he's the hero we need in Gotham. Let's take a quick break. Be right back.
Dean Obadala Show on SiriusXM Progress 127.
Your entire week's exhausting news broken down in one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obidala.
Welcome back, Dean Obidala Show. We're live right here, Friday, November 8th. Matt, I don't have the Guess Who Said It. Do you have the script? All right, we got a game. I got to find it right here. I got it on my email. I forgot all about it. We play a game every week called Guess Who Said It. And you guys will probably be pretty good at this. Essentially, it's I read you quotes. I'm looking at my computer's not working. All right, Matt, my computer's frozen, so I can't get it. So unless you can print it out, if you can print it out, we'll do it. So he put it together. It's a great little game we do all the time. Michael Bloomberg officially files in Alabama, and he's filing in Arkansas. Finally, the billionaire savior we've all been waiting for. Am I missing something? What is going on? What I like today is that finally the Democrats stopped attacking each other and all turned on Bloomberg. You had Amy Klobuchar. You had a Biden surrogate on. Warren went after him. She tweeted how much he's going to raise his tax. I'm not kidding. She tweeted out the calculator saying, welcome to the race. Here's the calculator. So am I missing something? Is there a lane for him? Is there a dislike of our candidate? There was a poll. I've got to read a quick thing. Democratic poll of voters. Only 13% not satisfied with the field. Only 13%, almost all other Democrats satisfied with the field. What's going on? Just ego? Bucket list?
We're in the phase right now where they're trying to find the moderate Biden alternative. And the fact that Biden is now in fourth place in Iowa is why Bloomberg is doing this. Yes, he's beaten Trump in 77 consecutive polls, but the fact is that Biden's support is mainly African-American primary voters and older establishment Democrats, and he's not pulling in the fundraising. That's why, like, these other candidates are on the ground in Iowa having fundraisers. Joe Biden's on the coasts having fundraisers for, fucking Raytheon. So Bloomberg is thinking what Kamala and Klobuchar and Buttigieg are thinking. The party's never going to let the two progressives have the nomination, and Joe Biden's going to flame out. So who will be alternative to Biden moderate idol? Bloomberg has unlimited funds.
Unlimited.
He has name recognition nationally, and he is a moderate. And he has a record to run on. And he's everything Trump claimed to be, but is not. So we underestimate him at our own peril because Bloomberg has enough to outspend all the other candidates in every primary and caucus. He could do it if he wanted to.
Do you think the party goes to someone like him and says, look, we really need you to kind of jump in?
I mean, Tom Perez is on right now, the DNC chair. There's no way. I don't think there's any chance the DNC chair. I think they would rather run with a Klobuchar or a Buttigieg than a Bloomberg who's out. I mean, first he was a Republican, then he became an independent, then he sort of became a Democrat.
So we're asking,
what is he now?
Will the New York City billionaire who used to be a Republican beat the New York City billionaire who used to be a Democrat?
Yeah, right. That's hilarious.
Well put, my friend. That's absolutely well put. So,
except Bloomberg's a real billionaire and he's self-made and he has run for office and won. Trump's only there because of dead slaveholders. He came in second.
like to see that debate though with those two going at it. That would really be fiery.
I mean, here's what I say to anyone who underestimates Joe Biden. I say, go watch the debates with Paul Ryan and Sarah Palin. When Biden's debating someone who's to the right of him, he's great. You want to see if you underestimate Bloomberg? Watch his speech in the 2016 Democratic Convention.
That was a good
brought
speech.
The House down.
I remember
Cory Booker had the best speeches of the entire convention. And Bloomberg is a guy who, is a real billionaire who just goes to Trump's golf courses and he knows how to run a business. He has huge recognition because he has an entire media empire, not a shitty reality show on NBC. So Bloomberg probably couldn't get the nomination, but he could move the needle. And he could, really be a spoiler for the party one way or the other. He could tilt it to a moderate or to a liberal.
By picking these states, Arizona, is it not? It's Arkansas, Alabama. I haven't looked. I assume it must be a Super Tuesday state, but I mean, means he's not going to even compete in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina.
By the way,
or Nevada.
everyone who has not gotten into the race, everyone who has not gotten on the Alabama ballot by now cannot be in the Alabama primary. Today was the deadline for Alabama.
Right, that's why Sessions had a
That's
file.
why if Hillary Clinton's going to jump back in, if Eric Holder's going to jump in, they ain't going to run in Alabama in that primary. So this could be the field.
Do you like any of the candidates? You follow Democrat? I'm not sure if you're actually a Democrat person.
I'm like an independent.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
do you like any of the Democrats?
I'm
when
an
you see
independent.
him?
I liked Biden, but I feel like I liked Biden like 8 years ago. I think we all feel like he's kind of there's a time it feels like he kind of missed that big shot, and now he's.
I think he knows that too.
And I think he seems, and it's kind of true. He seems like he's tired. Like he just doesn't seem like he's passionate.
You're gonna go with the sleepy bite thing. I don't.
No, I'm not sleepy. I'm just not tired like that. I mean, just tired. Like I just feel like he doesn't have the.
Which white person over 70 do you like?
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have like. I feel like when he was with Obama, like there was a real fire there. You're like, wow, if Obama wasn't there, he'd be the guy. And now he just doesn't seem like he's into it.
And that's too bad because, like Barack Obama picked him as the running mate, and Barack Obama was the first black president, and he was not afraid of assassination attempts because he had a VP that would guarantee no one took a shot at him. That's Biden's strong. I am so strong. The racists are terrified of me. No racist tried to shoot the black president because they were so scared of President Biden.
I mean, why now? I mean, if as opposed to years ago, why now is the people not take to him? What do you think it is?
2 years ago, his son had just died, and he has said he wished he had gone in there and run. He's reported to have said to his friends privately he wished he had done it, but his son had just died. So, and it was Hillary's. I mean, it was her year. But, it was a coronation.
I mean, and what's going on now? It seems. Look, maybe the debate stage is not his best format. I've seen some speeches where he's better out there, more of the guy with the fire that you're talking about.
Yeah,
and not only the fire, but the clarity that you want and the lucidity, and that you look at him and you're impressed with him.
Yeah.
As opposed to at times at the debates, he's good,
but he's flat. He seems flat
sometimes. And sometimes I think we're judging Biden by every answer. Like, oh, he's back. Oh no, he's not very good. Yeah. Which is kind of unfair. Like it's like American Idol. Like he's singing a song. Oh, sorry, Joe. That was the last one was a good one. This is not good. It's still the energy level of Bernie, who is older and had a heart attack, is way off the charts.
Bernie's 5 months older than Bloomberg, by the way. Bloomberg will turn 79 a month after Inauguration Day.
People are living longer and running for presidents for later. So if I become a billionaire, I could still run for president.
I got no problem with it. You know, like I keep hearing, like when did liberals decide that like ageism and racism against old white men was okay? Like that's the group you're allowed to have isms towards? I'm not afraid of old white men. I'm afraid of old white men ideas. So like, bring on the guys who want to do the things that work.
Yeah.
So let's play our little game. You ready, Matt? No. Can we play it? Oh, no, we're not yet. We're queuing it up.
Now, it's time for America's newest game show sensation. Guess who's said it?
And welcome to Guess Who Said It. I'm your host, Dino Bidala. Now we're joined by John Fugelsang and Bob DiBuono. It's a little simple game, Bob. It involves money. Take out your checkbook.
It's
going to be, I'm going to give you a
Get out your cell phones, folks.
That's right. Get ready to vote for Sean Spicer. And give you 4 answers. One of them is correct.
Okay,
it's not a fake thing. First one. This guy is more dangerous to the DNC than Jeffrey Epstein. If this guy isn't protected, not from the right but from the left, this guy's going to end up hanging himself with paper sheets while in custody. Who said that about the whistleblower? Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, or Mark Levin?
It's a special level of stupid, I have to say Glenn Beck, because it pretends to have empathy.
Mark Levin?
He was right. It's Glenn Beck. That was well done here.
Mark Levin! Mark Levin's too busy sitting at the feet of Jabba the Hutt going,
all right, here we got one. In the state of Kentucky, we had a very unpopular governor. Trump comes in and he made this race as competitive as you can possibly make it. That is the power of Donald Trump. Everyone genuflect. They didn't say genuflect. Who said that? Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump Jr., Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham.
Laura Ingraham.
I will go with Laura Ingraham.
You're both right. All right, who said this to Donald Trump Jr.? You and your family have hurt a lot of people and put a lot of people through a lot of pain, including the Khan family.
I know.
Who was it? You're going to sign it before we finish it?
I know it.
Do you know?
McCain's
Meghan
daughter.
McCain.
Meghan McCain.
Wait, she's John McCain's daughter? Meghan McCain is
whatever.
Meghan McCain is John McCain's daughter?
You know what I mean.
I think you guys don't know this one.
She should mention that.
If I had to pay $20 billion, it's fine. But when you say I should pay $100 billion, then I'm starting to do a little math about what I got left over.
I just did a show with this guy.
Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Bloomberg, Steyer. He knows all right off the bat. You guys are too good. I'm not kidding.
No, I've been paying too much attention to the headlines, trying to make a good impression this week.
The last one here. The media are trying to shape public opinion to be consistent with their worldview. It's a worldview where you eat nothing but kale and quinoa, whatever that thing is, Quinao. Quinoa, that's it. I don't eat it because I've seen it. I don't like it. We're those of us who cling to our Bibles and our guns and our fried foods in real America are looked down upon. Don Jr., Lindsey Graham, Brian Kilmeade, Matt Gaetz.
Someone with a book to sell.
Who do you think said
Don
it?
Jr.
Kilmeade.
You guys got one wrong. Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz said it?
Matt Gaetz, the Chag. And our real Americans, we eat fried food and we die young when we don't get stents and we just let ourselves suffocate.
You know, the only reason Matt Gaetz is so smug is that Trump thinks he's barren.
That's funny.
That's my son right over there.
That's
He's
my
gotten
son.
very big. He's tall.
All right,
Lot
so
bigger than I thought.
Well, we'll come back. We have a quick 2-minute break. We're going to come back and finish up with the anonymous book. Are you going to read it? And should they attach their name to it? I mean, why? I can't get a book deal, and this anonymous gets a book deal. What's going on? Clip number. We'll be right back after this.
Dean Obadala Show on Sirius XM Progress 127.
Your entire week's exhausting news broken down in one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obadala.
And welcome back, Dean Obadala Show. Last few minutes, but coming up, don't go anywhere. John Fugelsang, who's here right now, will be hosting his show. So last quick minute, then we'll have John.
Wait, I have to work Fridays? They didn't. Oh. I
Sorry.
gotta book some guests. Really.
Every Friday.
Wow.
Black Friday. You're going to Christmas Friday.
Friday.
Anonymous book, a warning. Is the author a coward, a hero, in between? I mean, people are debating this. What do you think? Do you attach your name to the book? Do you not? What do you guys think? Hero, coward, does it matter? Just a money-making thing? That's all it's about?
It's like the plane crashes and you're trying to get off and you crush 25 people to get through the emergency door so you can get outside and help others.
That's it.
That's it. Coward, self-serving. The fact, look, any Trump administration official who resigns on principle at this point is somebody who didn't resign after Helsinki.
Right, when he did, they stood up with him. Bob, quick thing. So where can people follow you? We literally have like a minute left, and I want to get Johnny to play the show.
Yeah, on Twitter at Bob DiBuono, Instagram Bob
I got
DiBuono.
nothing. I'm going to ask Bob to be my guest for 3 hours during the break.
Facebook, Bob DiBuono Live.
Who's your guest? Who's your next guest? You and Bob DiBuono.
Yeah.
So what's going on tonight on your show, my friend? Friday night, your first Friday.
We're going to do our first ever Freeform Friday. We have a great panel of comedians booked, but we're going to do the first 90 minutes just me and Chris. And we're going to be taking your calls and talking about the news of the week, playing a lot of real audio of the week, and then a great panel with Adam Sank, Keith Price, Kirby Darius, and Leah Bonema.
Wow, that's
really
great.
Strong, funny
Leah
panel.
blew off our show. She doesn't come out on our show because you stole it. No, Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
John, thanks, and don't go anywhere, folks. Thanks. Tell me everything coming right up. Everyone, listen to his show. Come back Monday. Talk to you right here on the Dean Obadala Show.